Hi Pamela, it's fantastic to have you here in London, a privilege. Appreciate you spend most of your time on the other side of the world, so it's a real opportunity for us to talk to you today. Can you just tell us a little bit more about the purpose of the ICC Digital Standards Initiative? What was it set up to do?
Sure, so the DSI is a young 3 years old, and we were set up to basically facilitate and enable the global transition to a globally harmonized, digitalized trade ecosystem. And what that means in practice is that we bridge and simplify the world of standards for trade digitalization, i.e. every step on the supply chain, what is needed to go global, what is needed to be to digitalize. So we work a lot with standards and simplifying the world of standards. Secondly, we work a lot with establishing principles of scalable digital trust so that you can trust the data and the documents that you receive all along the supply chain. And third, we are a focal point for the global advocacy campaign to legalize and modernize the use of electronic transferable records in trade, i.e. trade digitalization from a legal and policy point of view.
Yes, it's a really exciting moment, isn't it, for trade? We've got a huge transformation opportunity up ahead of us. Tell us a little bit about your plans for the year. I think the expectations here in the UK are big with the change of law. We're excited about what's going on out there. What's on your mind?
So, I mean, for me, I'm excited to see the UK actually implement and operationalize digital trade. It is a fantastic example of how you move from analog to digital trade. So we're really looking at UK industries and supply chains that flow in and out of the UK to begin that process of digital transformation, to really present to the world a test case that digital trade is faster, cheaper, simpler, and so on, and more traceable. For DSI, we're super excited. We're going to finish the digitalization of the 40 key trade documents, i.e. simplifying digital standards used in every single step of the vertical supply chain from raw material to retailer. And that will make it it's a lot easier for any participant along the supply chain to figure out what do they need to do, what are the standards that they need to use in digitalizing their supply chain. And that will be the basis for us to further advocate and to work with industry to drive industry adoption, because we have many trade standards, but industry sometimes has issues in adopting it, in that there's legal issues, there's capacity issues, there's issues with not knowing which standard to use, and so we're trying to simplify that. We're working with industry to educate and engage industry and really drive that adoption process. But I have super high hopes that we are moving in the right direction. We are seeing convergence in industry, and with UK's passage of the ETDA last year, interest globally in digital trade has never been higher. I think combined with that, we create bridges to traceability and sustainability and inclusion, and you can't get to any of those without digitalizing the supply chain. And so I think we've got so many factors in our favor. The global push for resilient supply chains, traceable supply chains, all of that, we should use all of those real drivers to really get the message out and then begin connecting that message to tools, capacity building, platforms, and so on, so that we can actually see the change happen on the ground. 2024 is going to be the year when we get over to that point of critical mass.
I think that's the second time I've heard that today, actually. We're about to start this new project supporting the ASEAN, which is super exciting, isn't it? And what role can we play? I mean, I think we pride ourselves in trying to be an exemplar, trying to be a leader out there in the world as the UK. How do you see our role in terms of helping you implement these frameworks? We're big supporters of digital trade, obviously. So what would you like to see us doing more of?
I would love to continue to work with C4DTI and ICC UK, because you guys are leaders in on-the-ground implementation of principles and kind of theoretical frameworks that we develop in DSI. And I think that is super interesting for other countries, because until now, all of the proponents of digital trade have been smaller economies. And the UK is a super complex, very connected economy, and if you can really move that transition to digital trade and begin showing the world how to work with interoperable digital standards and how to help all kinds of enterprises, not just the biggest ones, but also to open up those trading opportunities to SMEs, that will be such a great example, and it will give a lot of confidence to economies which are just, they're interested in digital trade, but they look at the capacity gaps, they look at the complexity, and that it involves 30 different government departments, and if the UK can actually help tell that story and help demonstrate how it's done, hugely empowering. And I think you set up your network, like working through the Commonwealth and working across British industry and involving industry and public sector and so on. I mean, that's also a good example. So keep playing hard in the UK and with all of the UK's trading partners. And I think what you're doing with ASEAN is another key part, because UK is a huge trading partner to ASEAN, and there's so much to share and also learn, globally. So I expect you to be a major player for many more months and years to come.
Wow, high expectations. Well, we like the challenge.
No pressure.
We're always up for that. So it's great to have you here, Pamela. I appreciate your diary is super busy. But thanks so much for coming and talking to us.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Thanks, Chris.